morning, everyone. Brian here with DIY Outdoor Life. I'm signing on today from our campsite. I did not get a new RV. This is not mine. There's some backstory. I'll tell you about that later. But it has been a busy week. It's one of those you got to work hard to play hard type of situations. Memorial Day weekend is coming up. That's my family reunion. Everyone gets together for a camp out. They've been doing it since before I was born. There's a lot of work to prepare for an event like that. So I figured I'd take you along with me, show you some of the things we're doing to basically convert this property to like an RV park for the weekend. There might be some stuff there that's helpful, or you might just find it relatable. Now, I did not forget about the Pale Blue Earth sweepstakes. I have the winners of those batteries. I'm going to tell you about that today, including the grand prize of that home conversion kit. I really love these batteries, and I know we're going to make some people really happy with these. The company's going to mail them to you factory direct. So stay tuned to see if you're one of the people that won those 4 sets of batteries. And come along with me today while I delay my work to show you guys what we're working on. Now, Ripple and I have been staying here for about 4 nights. It's easy enough to stay in the bushwhacker, wake up, and just kind of whittle away at the chores that need to be completed before this weekend arrives. Things like mowing the lawn and preparing firewood. We have some outdoor shelters, small stuff like that. But something that's exciting for me is my grandmother does the snowbird thing. She's coming up from Florida to stay here for the summer in an RV. She's been doing this long before it was in style. So the family gets together to kind of set up the RV, de-winterize it, make sure it's ready for when she arrives. Now, the rest of the property is quickly becoming a bit of an RV park as well. More and more people are switching from tent camping to getting RVs, both small and large. So those creature comforts are amazing. It allows the family to get together more, regardless of the weather. Very exciting stuff. But there is a little bit more that goes into that, right? Preparing for the utilities and the sites for people to be able to set up safely and effectively. So I'm going to show you some of those things today. Now, for my grandmother's site, we were able to do full hookups like you'd find at an RV campground. This was the original site of my grandparents' cabin. Overlooking the pond here, we had a well, a septic system, and electric. So it was relatively easy to convert it to a full-time RV site. Now, the rest of the property was not developed like this, so it was a little bit more tricky to create these RV sites on the lower section of the property. Since there's no house on the property anymore, we had the utility company run lines and drop this meter on this shed. It's connected to an outdoor load center with circuit breakers, so we have buried lines running over to the well in my grandmother's campsite. Aside from that, we ran these 20 amp circuits with receptacles to be able to use extension cords to power the essentials. Now, as the property gets used more and more people are switching to RVs, I absolutely hate extension cords. We can do a whole video to understand what gauge wire to use, how it derates your camper, voltage drop. There's a lot of things that go into using extension cords, and most people just throw caution to the wind and they risk their equipment and they risk safety, and that this can be a really dangerous situation. So I'm super excited to show you one major upgrade we did for a few campsites on the property. I'm really excited about this. I hope you can hear me over the brook that's right behind the camera. But back here on the far side of the property, we now have RV outlets. So we buried CPVC conduit, ran heavy gauge copper wire, and now these RVs actually have pedestals just like you'd find at a campground. Now, we used a heavy enough wire and circuit breakers to be able to do this properly. It's hard for me to say how much of an increase or an improvement it is to do this. I'll include these little boxes on Amazon. These are not that expensive, but when you run the proper size wire to them, you don't have to deal with hitting them with a lawnmower, driving over them, the wire becoming checked from sitting out in the sun. There's no plugs or connections out in the weather. This is now the factory cord from this RV plugged into a 30 amp outlet. Now we're still going to be minimalist here, but this RV behind me could run its air conditioner now over 150 feet away from the load center. Very impressive stuff. I was really happy to be able to get this job done this year. Now, having safe electrical connections back here is great, but these RVs are still gonna have to be self-contained otherwise. We can fill the reservoirs on the way in using a hose from the well, but there is no city water connection back here. Now, the black and gray water tanks, if they choose to use those, we still have to drive to the local campground and just pay for the dump fee. We have an outhouse on the property, and from somebody who stays in a teardrop, I'd much rather use the outhouse than deal with that stinky slinky that these big campers have. I know that's a personal preference. Having your own bathroom is great, but obviously we don't have any dump stations on our piece of property here. So this year we had to take a dead tree down that was in the lawn on the property. Now it was a white ash tree that was killed by the emerald ash borer. It's an insect that bores into these trees and it kills them, it spreads quickly, and it will actually eliminate all of the ash in the Catskills. Now here's an example of just learning a little bit about your environment and how it can prevent you from making a catastrophic mistake. This wood is excellent firewood, and there's a ton of it. If I were to split this up and put it in my truck and bring it to the Bushwhacker Rally in North Carolina, I would be letting these guys serve like a hitchhiker on my vehicle. They can get a lot further in my Tacoma than they can with their little legs and wings. And I could potentially destroy a forest somewhere else. There's no natural predator to these insects. They're actually invasive to the Catskills, and somebody brought them here on firewood. So this is an example of good firewood that we're gonna burn right where the tree was. You know, just a couple feet away from where the tree came down, we're gonna use this as camp firewood. I actually have it stacked in a ring and was burning a small fire inside it to kind of heat treat the wood. That'll kill the insects, but I'm still not gonna move this off the property. So I'm happy to have some good firewood for Memorial Day weekend. We'll have a nice cookout and a campfire back here, but I figured it was worth noting that there's a huge risk with transporting firewood, and it's never a good idea. Okay, I better get back to work. I think I'm just procrastinating now, but I really wanted to show you this. You guys know that I love the Euromax Canopy. I've used one for a couple years on my Bushwhacker. I've used it in the winter. I've had it through floods and like terrible lightning storms. It's held up better than any canopy that I've ever used. So this year I bought the 10 by 15. It's very heavy, it's expensive, but it's built to last forever. It is a very high quality product, and you can get a new cover for it if it gets damaged. So I love it. Now, I'm hoping to use this with the Bushwhacker, but for this weekend, I set it up for a central gathering place. There's some rain in the forecast, and I figured if we did something like this, people wouldn't just hunker down in their campers if the weather got bad. Now, I rigged it up with these Sunapec solar lights. I'm gonna put a link in the description for this because people are gonna love this product. It's a solar panel with a lithium battery built into it, charge controller built in. It's all in one, no installation. The solar panel will charge that battery up fully, even in conditions like this, where we're underneath a bunch of trees. When the solar panel detects that the sun has gone down, it turns the lights on automatically. And there is hours and hours of runtime. I've gone to bed each night before they've turned off. I know it's over 5 hours. I don't even know what the owner's manual says, but it's really nice lighting, 96 feet of string lights. It's an amazing setup. Now, you're gonna have to wrap it up like Christmas lights. It's gonna be a pain for some people, but what a cool setup. I think I'm gonna use these at home because I love them so much. So now, I better give away these batteries. I'm sure some of you have fast forwarded to this part of the video anyway, but we have 4 winners before we sign off today. Let's get to it. Okay, folks, here we go. Very official stuff out here in the woods. I have a brown bag. We have 1 through 4th prize. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are gonna be the AA batteries. 1st prize is gonna be the home conversion kit. we're gonna start with fourth prize and move our way up. So there was 115 entrants, and I have a random number generator. So the fourth prize is number 24. The third prize is number 5. I don't know if you can see that. The second prize is number 67. And the first prize is number 54. So now I'm gonna look up those comments and tell you who it is. So, fourth prize, AA batteries from Pale Blue Earth, Richard Grubenhoff. Congratulations. Third prize, AA batteries from Pale Blue Earth, Tom Vaccaro. Congratulations. Second prize, pack of AA batteries, Roger Robinson. Congratulations. And the first prize, and the whole home conversion kit, couple hundred, few $100 value, Awoken Heathen. So congratulations, Awoken Heathen. Now, I'm gonna shoot back to you guys on the comments if you catch that. If somebody doesn't claim the prize in like 2 weeks, I'll pull somebody else. But what we'll do is I'll shoot you my email address. I gotta pick up my litter. And if you send me your home address and name, Pale Blue Earth is gonna mail these to you directly. So congratulations. For everyone else, I'll put the link in the description. Remember, these batteries pay for themselves after you use them 5 or 6 times. So say goodbye to disposable for most of our devices. There's certain devices that, you know, TV remote at home, smoke alarm on your house, that it's just better off using disposable batteries. But I think you're gonna love these. So pick those up in the description. Congratulations to everyone who entered. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time.